Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Ipshita Bansal from BPS Women's University, Sonipat. Today we are going to talk on the module Types of Reading from the paper Business Communication. By the end of this module, students will be able to understand first different types of reading, second the techniques of speed reading, and third various software that aid in e-reading. Reading is a vital skill. Without reading, it is difficult to gain knowledge. Almost every person can benefit from some reading. Reading is a skill that is important in every activity and profession. Whether it is a desk job or a marketing job, or when you have to meet people for any type of activity. It is important for an engineer, a researcher, a pilot, or a doctor. It is an area which every professional should consider important, as by reading different types of materials like newspapers, journals, magazines, various types of reports, etc., they get to know about the latest information and techniques, procedures, styles, trends, and even the customer requirements. Employees spend an average of half their work time reading something or the other as part of their job requirement. So, if they could improve their reading efficiency, they could greatly improve productivity. Previously, we used to pick up the telephone. Now, we email. Hence, reading and writing have become more important than ever. Reading is not that simple. It is a complex cognitive activity. It is not only about looking through the content, but also to understand and comprehend it. So, let's now understand what are the various types of reading. Types of reading are many. For example, sampling, labeling, skimming, studying, summarizing, scanning, and comprehension. We'll discuss them in detail one by one. Sampling is a reading type useful in deciding what is relevant material for you to read. So, you need to read the preface or foreword, contents page, beginning and conclusion. By this time, you can take a decision whether to read the entire material or only a part of it. Labeling is a type of reading that does not focus on the details of the text you are reading. Labeling is done when time is not sufficient to go through the details, but still one wants to have an overall idea of what the concept is all about. Skimming is a rapid reading technique where the reader reads quickly, taking minimum pauses. Reader here do not attempt to look into all the details and focus on the central idea only and connected details of the text message. While skimming, one has to give importance to the title and any subtitles and subheadings, diagrams or pictures, the last sentence of the whole thing, the first sentence from each paragraph, or abstract or summary. Studying is the most serious of all types of reading. While reading a technical, business, or scientific document of high importance which the reader has to remember and might have to reproduce, use, or refer or apply the knowledge associated with it at a later stage, then we may say that the reader is actually studying the material. Studying a text involves almost all the techniques of reading. The techniques of reading under studying are many. When reading for the first time, it is important to identify its major and associated ideas, underline the main ideas, and to make notes, and then to prepare a paraphrase or summary of the text. To summarize, elimination of unimportant details and substitution of longer descriptions with suitable idioms and one-word substitutes is required. The lucidity and logic in the text should not be lost. The next phase is interpreting the text, where the need is to thoroughly understand the central and associated ideas, tone, and intention of the author. Such type of reading would enable in understanding the major minor ideas of the text, comprehend the use of language in the text, distinguish between explicit and implicit information, and draw inferences and conclusions. Summarizing is a process where the reader reproduces the original text in a compact form through reading. A good summary would be one-third of the original text. While reading, one should understand the logical ordering of ideas in the text and its central theme. Identify some important points, either underline or make a note of them in a notebook. Hence, after reviewing, one can start writing the summary with lesser number of words. This is possible only when many words can be substituted with a single word, and unnecessary details, descriptions, and examples can be eliminated. While summarizing, care has to be taken that the lucidity and clarity are maintained. Scanning. Scanning is a type of reading that gives the readers sufficient time to look into the central idea and the supplementary ideas linked with it. The reader should carefully look for necessary details. Much knowledge can be acquired by focusing on the specific part of the text that contains the necessary information and avoid the rest. This is an advanced skill that can be honed with practice. Under scanning, one has to decide what one is looking for. Stick to what one is looking for and ignore anything else. One has to look for clues such as capital letters or numbers. And lastly, start with the list of page numbers from the index and then scan quickly through the text. Let's discuss comprehension now. Reading comprehension is the ability to read text, process it, and understand its meaning. An individual's ability to comprehend text is influenced by their traits and skills, one of which is the ability to make inferences. Reading comprehension helps in understanding the concept, grasping the important data, acquiring knowledge, and giving relevant answers of the questions if it is required. There is direct relationship between comprehension and vocabulary. People with smaller vocabulary are able to understand less from the text they read than the people who have larger vocabulary. The techniques for better comprehension are the following. Gradually and continuously improve your vocabulary by using dictionary while reading. Read the passage to get its general meaning and note down the main points. Read all the questions attentively and look for answers, if the questions have been asked. Be precise and to the point in answering the questions. Be cautious about the usage of grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Let's talk about pace of reading now. According to Edward Fry, it is observed that there are three reading speeds. Study reading speed average reading speed and skimming reading speed. The study reading speed is used for reading material that deals with difficult arguments, ideas, and notions, etc. This kind of reading aims at almost total comprehension and retention of what has been read. A good study reader can read 200 to 300 words per minute. The average reading speed is the speed used for reading newspapers, magazines, novels, etc. A good average reading speed is 250 words per minute. Skimming is recognized as the fastest reading speed. A good reader is one who, keeping his purpose in mind, can quickly attain the required speed to skim through the material. So, how can we improve speed of reading? It's never too late to improve one's speed of reading. Many reading trainers do not want to be associated with the term speed reading because of the negative association it has gained over the years. Many people believe that speed reading reduces comprehension, but this is not true always. One needs to use certain techniques while reading to improve the speed as well as comprehension. There are various techniques to improve reading speed. It is never too late to improve one's speed of reading. Many reading trainers do not want to be associated with the term speed reading because of the negative association it has gained over the years. Many people believe that speed reading reduces comprehension, but this is not true. One needs to use certain techniques while reading to improve the speed as well as comprehend. The first technique is widening one's eye span. To improve speed, one must try to cultivate the habit of looking at larger group of words and of moving ahead faster. The wider one's eye span, the greater will be his or her speed to comprehend. Second, finger pacing on words. Elvin Wood, a teacher, is said to have read 5,000 words per minute by dragging her finger along the page as a pacer. Speed reading gained reputation when US President John F. Kennedy brought teachers from Elvin Wood Dynamics reading program to the White House to instruct his staff. Wood's finger pacing method is used to increase the rapidity of eye movements and to decrease the length of eye pauses. One reason people read slowly is because they lose their place in the text and either reread words or skip lines. The finger method is intended to keep a reader's eye oriented to the page, moving smoothly from one line of the text to another. The next technique of improving the reading speed is reading through eyes and brain. Montvale said that when Elvin Wood tries to do is teach you to look at and pull meaning from words in groups. This viewpoint believes that individuals read with their eyes, and by training the eyes to move faster, one can read faster. It is also true that eyes are the vehicles that transmit the words, but the brain provides interpretation. If we consider a blind person reading Braille, he uses his fingers the way a sighted person uses his eyes. Both are reading. Evidently, if your eyes work better, you can look on to the words faster. But if eyes transmit faster than the brain, the read content will not be absorbed and the reader won't remember what he had read. The biggest challenge people have is thinking of 10 other things while they read. So the mind has to be concentrated on what they are reading to increase the speed. Next technique for increasing the speed of reading is subvocalization. Subvocalization, also known as auditory reassurance, is a very common habit among readers. It involves saying words in your head while reading, and it's one of the main reasons why people read slowly and have trouble improving their reading speed. So, to improve reading speed, repression of subvocalization is recommended. People can read faster than they speak, but when they subvocalize, reading speed is limited to speaking speed. So, although subvocalization is helpful in concentrating better and understanding difficult material, it reduces the reading speed. So, subvocalization should be repressed. In organizational context, speed reading is a very important skill that has to be acquired. Efficient reading techniques that teach people to read faster are: first, filtering the content. Filtering out unnecessary material and extracting key points from the rest. Some employees believe that they must read every word that crosses their desks. Says Mindel, they waste too much time on material they already know or don't need to know. Efficient reading teaches employees to do an overview to determine what justifies careful reading. Second technique, prioritizing reading. Professor Dean of Lakeland Community College has developed a program on corporate reading management. The program includes establishing a purpose for all reading, organizing reading needs to fit a schedule, prioritizing reading to accommodate time available, and using previewing, scanning, and information indexing techniques for prioritizing reading. This efficient reading technique helps in prioritizing what to read first and what can be read next. Third technique is mixed reading types. Most reading trainers teach the trainees how to examine the structure of reading materials and skim from main ideas. Mindel and Dean advocate reading important passages slowly and using highlighter pens to mark notes in the material for future reference. This is how the reading can be efficient by mixing the reading types: skimming while the content is familiar or unimportant, and studying or scanning or comprehending while things are new and important. The fourth technique for efficient reading in organizational context is developing good vocabulary. This perhaps is the most important technique. Gloria Pinko, president of Basic Learning Systems, states that why is it that people who read a great deal read faster? Because they are familiar with words. A poor vocabulary is one of the obstacles to reading quickly. That is why instruction on prefixes, suffixes, and root words are important. Reading through electronic devices, that is e-reading. In the era of information technology, we prefer to read more online or on computers. Letter on papers written by pen are very less in use, and the emails float every single second. Even the study contents are available online nowadays. A growing number of largely e-reading software programs are also available independent of specific e-readers. Here are some of the most interesting efforts. Vortex, the first e-reading device, it is the software to decrease reading time. This is a machine-assisted reading system. It takes the text in email, internet sites, or any Microsoft Word processing documents and flashes it back to you one word at a time. This software allows humans to read from their computer screens at up to 2000 words per minute. This is accomplished by allowing the separation of the work involved in reading. You can set the legibility factors like font size, color, and speed of delivery. Sit back and then the computer does the display. You do the absorption. Although the program was designed to decrease reading time, it's also ideal for employees with vision problems. Kindle is another e-reading device which makes browsing easier. Amazon released its Kindle for the web beta. It was intended to make it easier for customers to browse Amazon's book offerings, sampling Kindle books through their web browsers without having to install or download special software. Amazon is encouraging its content partners to embed samples of their Kindle books on their websites, earning referral fees from Amazon if customers buy books through this process. Users identify books of interest at the Amazon.com and click on the Read First Chapter Free button to open the first chapter within that web page. Users can change fonts, background color, or line spacing, as well as share their selections on comments using Twitter, Facebook, or email from that web page. Blio is another independent free e-reading software. Ray Kurzweil developed Blio in 2010. It works on a wide variety of platforms, e-readers, tablets, laptops, and more. It provides an excellent, smooth, easy-to-operate reading environment that requires no specific hardware investment and open doors to content and reading experiences. Blio has been integrated with Goodreaders for easy review and book tracking. It is easy to install and provides a variety of layouts: single page, side-by-side, intelligent zooming, and even a 3D book view. Voice to text is available, so Blio can read to you while highlighting the text as it goes. You can also insert notes, highlight text, and link for study purposes. Copier is an e-reading device to discover, connect, and share. Copier platform uses mobile social networking capabilities so that one can share opinions and ideas with others. The software is already available for PC and Mac computers. Copier claims an installed base of tens of thousands and is marketed as providing readers with a social reading experience. Users are able to access feeds from Facebook, Twitter, and other social media as they read, as well as share notes and book recommendations, all without having to use the web. Google Books and Google represents current standard for e-reading. Google Bookstore's homepage allows one to browse by general subject area, search all books or within subject fields, view current top sellers, etc. Reviews and ratings can be viewed by clicking on the covers or clicking on About the book. Registration is required to buy or download titles. Texts can be customized to meet the specific needs of users by such elements as line height, justification, text size, typeface, etc. Stanza is a free iPod Touch iPhone ebook reader. The system offers customizable formatting, searching, library management, and over-the-air book downloads on demand. It is able to handle ebooks, digital newspapers, and other digital publications. Stanza is available for iPhone, iPod, iPad, Mac, and desktop for Mac and Windows. If one hasn't personally explored the ebook pool, these software solutions provide a compelling and pain-free introduction to the future world of information publishing and reading, without having a requirement to commit any e-reader platform other than the devices that one probably already has. E-reading is also much popular nowadays as it follows the concept of save papers and save trees. So students, let's now summarize what we have learnt in this module. Reading is an important activity of our daily lives requiring efficient reading skills. There are various types of reading skills like sampling, labeling, skimming, studying, summarizing, scanning, comprehension, etc. All these help in reading but in different ways. Sampling assists in deciding what is the relevant material to be read. Labeling helps in identifying important and unique aspects of the text. Skimming is to read quickly, taking minimum pauses and understanding the general idea of the text. Studying is most serious of all types of reading. It is used when reading a technical, business, or scientific document of high importance which the reader has to refer in future. Scanning is a type of reading that gives the reader sufficient time to look into the central idea and the subsidiary ideas associated with it. In today's competitive era, reading slowly doesn't work. So skills have to be developed for reading with speed and efficiency. It is a misconception that when reading speed increases, comprehension suffers. Rather, if reading is done with concentration, using certain specific techniques, adequate comprehension is possible, even if reading is done with speed. Developing a good vocabulary is a must for better comprehension. The e-reading is also very popular nowadays. Many free software like Kindle, Blio, Calibre, Stanza, etc. facilitate in reading through electronic mode by saving papers and by saving time. Reading, on the one hand, is a pleasure-giving activity. On the other hand, it is of a great assistance in acquiring knowledge. Thank you.